Now we have the action of water, that is the cold water, on certain metals, right? So that is the potassium, sodium and calcium. These three metals I am considering to illustrate an example for you, right? So first of all, you should know that when we add potassium to water, like whether it float or it sink, or same with the sodium and same with the calcium, you know that when the potassium is added to water, it floats on the surface of water, right? And when we talk of sodium, it also floats on water, but in case of calcium, it is being heavy, it just sinks at the bottom, right? And now the reaction, I think you are clear with it, that when we react potassium with water, that means the metal is just going to crisscross with the hydroxide ion, right? As we know that it is H and OH and potassium is positive, so obviously it is going to react with the hydroxide ion and just lead to the formation of potassium hydroxide along with the gas. Which gas? Obviously the hydrogen gas. Same happens with the sodium, sodium hydroxide and hydrogen, and same happens with the calcium, that is the calcium hydroxide and hydrogen. But you know the nature of reaction is somehow different in them, right? This reaction is highly exothermic, it leads to the production of excess amount of heat, and in this case though the heat is evolved, but comparatively it is not too high, right? Means that it is you can say comparatively less exothermic than the potassium one, which when it reacts with water, and it is, you can say, very little amount of heat is evolved when calcium reacts with water. So you can just you cannot classify, or you can just not illustrate this reaction as an exothermic reaction, right? And you know that when we add potassium to it, as I have shown in the figure, you can see the sparks coming out, so it burns with the lilac flame, and when we just put it in, we get a gas. You can see this red droplets just indicating the evolution of the hydrogen gas, and same happens here when this happens. So this again evolution of the hydrogen gas. And when we talk about that, as you saw that it just catches the fire in water and the flame is lilac, but it also do catches the fire, and but the color is not lilac, it is something golden yellow. So you need to be clear in mind that when sodium reacts with water, it obviously it also gets burned, but the color of the flame is not lilac, because lilac is for the potassium, it has the golden yellow color, and but for the calcium it do not catch any fire when it reacts with water. Moreover, so you can say that reaction is highly vigorous, it occurs in a second, right? So it is highly vigorous in nature and highly exothermic, but comparatively it is not too vigorous, like comparatively, or you can say it is less vigorous and it is less exothermic, and the flame is of golden yellow color. And likewise for calcium it is different, that it is actually you can say a smooth reaction, no such fire occur. So this is how the metals just react with the cold water, that is the potassium, sodium and the calcium. So you need to, like if somebody asks you, you should be familiar with the color of the flames, with the figures, with the exothermic nature, and what the reactions we get, and whether this metal floats or sink, you should know that, right? So this is an important property, the reaction of cold water. I'll write cold here. Reaction of cold water with potassium, sodium and the calcium, right? And moreover, you should know that when iron reacts with iron also reacts with water, but it reacts with the superheated steam, and when it reacts with the superheated steam, it is a reversible reaction. It leads to the formation of oxide, and that oxide is not Fe2O3, that is something Fe3O4, and along with that we get the hydrogen gas. So you should know that because this iron reaction is very important, and you get often in your paper that what happens when iron reacts. So you should know that it doesn't react with cold water, it doesn't react with boiling water, it reacts with the steam, right? So when it reacts with the steam, it leads to the formation of oxide, and that oxide is Fe3O4, and along with that we get hydrogen gas.